Well, Mark, the Ontario government has a big decision on its hands. Officials are currently weighing whether or not to allow Toronto and Peel region to move to stage 3 of the province's reopening strategy. We'll get that answer tomorrow, and the encouraging numbers we're seeing today could factor into that decision. 111 new coronavirus cases are being reported, but only 7 of those are from Peel, along with another 6 from Toronto. Meanwhile, more than half of today's new cases are coming from Ottawa, Windsor-Essex, and the Niagara region. This is the 4th straight day that Ontario has reported a dip in infections, but we're still seeing plenty of volatility over the past week, with the number of daily cases topping out at 203 while also falling as low as 103. 4 additional deaths are also being reported today. Now let's zero in on Ottawa for a moment. It had the most new cases today at 25 more than Toronto, Peel, Windsor-Essex. The Associate Medical Officer of Health says many of Ottawa's outbreaks have been linked back to indoor parties. But the Premier said today he's not thinking about moving it from stage 3 back to stage 2.
Not right now. I guess you're talking about Ottawa. I think they dropped a couple points. We're at 111 today, which is pretty good. Nothing's acceptable until you get down to 0. But when we have 14.5 million people, 111 cases, it's great work from all 14.5 million people. We're still keeping an eye on, always on Toronto, Peel, and especially Essex. And my heart breaks for those folks in Essex. Man, they're getting a tough time of it, but we're going to help them try to move into stage 3 as quickly as possible. And we'll have an announcement about all 3 regions tomorrow, Toronto, Peel, and Essex.
That was one of the few direct mentions of COVID-19 during the Premier's daily update today. In fact, his 1 o'clock update, which people have been used to tuning into since the pandemic began, it's not so much about COVID when he is on the road. Today, his announcement was for a new long-term care facility in Durham. The Premier's critics are calling this an unofficial election campaign, which he denies. And one last thing to tell you about, the Premier was asked when the LCBO will return to normal hours. They've been closed on Mondays for cleaning, and the union is calling for them to go back to regular times. Finance Minister Rod Phillips answered by saying the goal is to get everyone back to work, but only when it can be done safely.